Another video in the How to Build series. How to build the SSR water unit Rosa. And she is built. Giggity. Rosa is your water nuker. She shines in single target focused type of dungeons. Single target like Aurora and Union Boss. But you can use her in Doki Doki too, and I'll showcase that later. Third skill, crit rate buff to your whole team and AoE speed down to the enemy team. This is huge for her. You only need to build her on 70% crit because she gets 30 from a crit rate buff. Please do not build over 70% crit rate. After 70% crit rate, the priority for stats is crit damage, then attack, then speed. You can make her actually a speed unit, prioritizing crit rate, then speed, then crit damage and attack, but it just depends on your team comp. I like her as a slower nuker. I'm mid-game right now, so I have her at Onslaught Harvest. As much attack as possible. We'll talk about module sets here in a minute. Skill priorities, which one should you level up first? First, go through all 3 skills and level up these first 5 nodes of every skill. But when you talk about skill upgrades with Lattice, you want to skill up her second skill first. This will guarantee 100% that she will follow up with an attack. Plus you also get 12% crit rate, making her even easier to build to 70%. Next, you skill up her skill 3. This is her AoE. This will reduce the cooldown to 3 turns. The more she'll have crit rate buff up, the more the enemies will have speed down. Then lastly, follow up and max her first skill out. She will be doing a ton of basic attacks and increasing the multiplier plus increasing the turn meter effect. It's going to highly benefit you. Now, where to use her? The Union Boss is a great place for Rosa. With the right team comp and her debuff always staying on the Union Boss, she will maximize the amount of times that she does a follow-up attack. Aurora is another great place for Rosa. You focus down Aurora and kill him as fast as possible. PvP speed cleaves. Say that 10 times fast. Let's do a quick showcase. Number 41, first the attack buff and the turn meter increase. Then we got Kraken going, AoE freeze, boom, they're all frozen except for Gray. Got Gray, AoE defense down, and then you got Rosa at the end, clearing them all off, GG. Not only that, you can use her in Hell Doki Doki, and she's the only SSR. Number 41, Marvel, Gray, Rosa, and Kraken. In continuous battle, set wave 1 to look like this. On the second wave, kill off those elites, and then the elite last. With this team comp here, they're going to be constantly CC'd, they're going to be constantly defense down, and there's going to be a lot of AoE plus follow-up attacks from Rosa. There you have it, the end of Doki Doki. Hell on auto, easy peasy. Get that mythic gear. Let's talk about modules. Early, mid, and late game. Early game, just put on Onslaught. Just want as much attack as possible. When you get in the mid game, it's like a 12 set and a 4 set, or you can go to 8 sets, or an 8 and a 4 and a 4. If you want to go on a slow nuke route, you put on Onslaught for a 12 slot, and then either Harvest or Fury for a 4 set, just to get that 10% more attack. That's what I have right now. Or you could go Swift Rush for the 12 set to get that 35% speed, and then any of the 4 sets for that extra attack. It just depends on how you want to build her. If you build her with Swift Rush, she won't do as much damage. If you build her with Onslaught, it's going to be more damage but slower. You could technically build her on Harvest and Fury together. You know she's critting, so she's going to do 12% more damage. Now late game, end game, you have a 12 set, a 8 set, and a 6 set. You got one for PvE, and then I'll give you one for PvP. At that point, you're only really using Rosa for single target type of boss damage. You're going to have a ton of debuffs on the enemy. So for the 12 set, I would go Momentum, which drops in Aurora, which is perfect for Rosa. For the 8 set, you go Fury. You know she's critting, 12% extra damage. And then for that 6 set, Fury Edge, which endgame you'll be farming Inferno anyway. More crit rate, more crit damage. At this point, you won't even need a crit rate main stat in your modules. You'll get the necessary 70% from this set plus substats. Plus you get 12% from a skill ups and another 8% from a second dupe. Now for PvP though, and you're gonna go a 12 set of Keen Eye. This will increase the first 3 attacks by 25%, then 15%, then 5. And if you're playing that speed cleave team, you're probably not going to have more than 3 turns anyway. The 8 set, go Bulwark, you don't want to get stunned. And for that 6 set, endgame PvP, you either go Fury Edge, or what I would tell you to do is go Swift Raid, 15% speed and 20% attack. Let's talk about shells. Shells for Rosa I'll split between PvE, PvP. The safest bet in my opinion is White Fang, for all overall use. She's going to be doing many critical hits. She will stack this up very quickly to 10 stacks, 60% extra crit damage. For PvP, I would go with Count. You're using her in a speed cleave, 1200 attack increase for 2 turns plus life leech. Now let's talk about easy team comps and the ultimate team comp for Rosa. It highly depends on the situation and the dungeon, obviously guys, come on. But a generic team, easy 4-man team comp, number 41, Dina, Kraken, and Rosa. For a 5-man comp, you add in Dating, or whatever other damage dealer you have that is crit based. The more times someone is critting on the enemy, the more times Rosa follows up and does an attack. If you need more sustain or survivability, hell, you put in Ling Lao, day 7, you got her. Or you bring Sania or Valerian, whatever you got. Now the ultimate SSR team comp for Rosa. First, you obviously match Rosa with Lily. Klaus is your debuffer, unless you're going into a fire dungeon like Aurora. You would then bring in like Zayata, for example, for a defense down. Or probably even just Dina. She'd be critting too, making Rosa do more damage. Then you bring in Bayantin for that attack buff, crit damage buff, plus res. If you speed tune it right, you can have her second skill target Rosa as well. Bayantin would have to pretty much be double the speed as Rosa though for this to work. And then that last spot with Rosa is Chloros. The amount of multi-hit attacks that Rosa has literally makes Chloros shine, and you will do so much damage. Let's say you go Zayata and Rosa though, you might want to go with support as your 5th spot. That's it for today's video. Hopefully this helped you learn how to build Rosa properly. If you end up liking this video, make sure to hit that sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell ding dingy thing so you know when I post a video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.